Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Manifest Tarot. I'm so happy you're here. Yay, it's time for our weekly Your Week Ahead reading, which is, it's so much more than a Your Week Ahead reading. It includes the recent past, the present, the near future, and then a whole bunch of other things, and then a potential outcome, depending on what you want, depending on what you're manifesting. It's such a meaningful and wonderful reading. And to do this, I am going to pick 3 oracle cards from this deck. All right, let's wake up this oracle deck. This one. Sometimes the cards jump right out and sometimes they're a little reticent. Actually, this one wanted to pop out as well. All right, we need one more. And this one. These cards are so substantial. They feel really nice and smooth as well. Actually, I want to show you this just as a card. Wow, it looks like an ending. The moth and eucalyptus, an ending. This is card number 13. I am going to keep this out at least while we are getting the piles together, because it seems like definitely for some of you there is a major shift coming. So I am going to come back in a moment with some crystals for those of you who like to pick with crystals. Oh, what am I saying? I have to reveal the cards first. Here we go. Oh, wow. The Rooster and Sunflower with communication. You know, oh, this is card number 47. And what is so interesting, and what I have noticed so many times, is that cards will come out several times in a row and then just submerge. It's like they come to the surface, they reveal themselves to us several times, make sure whoever needs to get their message gets their message, and then they submerge back down and they don't come out for a while. So this card just came out in the last, I think the last week's readings. I'm almost positive. So if not last week, the week before, definitely. So someone is really needing this message. That's pile number 1. Pile number 2 is the Quail and Gooseberry with anticipation. This is card 51. We get some high numbers here. 47 and 51. And now we have for pile number 3, the Horse and Bluebell with modest fortitude. It's a lovely card, this little arc here. And this is another high number. This is 49. I'm going to do a little quick math in my head for the for the Roman numerals. So yes, now I'm going to be back in a second with some crystals. All right, we're back. And I gave this card its own crystal. This is the obsidian. So I don't know why I blanked on this. This is the obsidian oval. I thought that was appropriate. It wanted its own crystal. It's kind of being a little I won't say greedy. It's not necessarily greedy. It's not necessarily, it's being very insistent, this card. And so I think I'm going to keep it out for the readings. There's some significance to this. So for pile number 1, we have this gorgeous yellow Aventurine, and it is kind of like the sun. It's got this very, you know, lit from within quality. Just like the dawn, the sunflower, the rooster, you have a very dawn thing going on here, which after the night comes the dawn, right? So for this pile number 2, Quail and Gooseberry, This is the green Aventurine hexagonal point. Look at this thing. It's also seeming to be glowing from within. And then for pile number 3, this is the Lapis Lazuli hexagonal point. It's so blue. In honor of the bluebells, we have my bluest crystal. So pick whatever pile you want. And I am going to also have, I keep on trying to jump ahead. I'm going to come back also with a phrase for each one of these 3 cards. Yes, I'm getting so excited about the reading that I keep forgetting what comes next. So I have 3 phrases, one for each of these piles. This is Dawn Arises. This one is, that's number 1. Number 2 is Hidden Treasures. And number 3 is Honor Thyself. So I am going to put in the timestamps below, I'm going to put the card, the phrase on the, or word on the card, the phrase I just told you, and the crystal. So I'll put all that information in the timestamps. So just take as much time as you need to pick your pile, and we will meet in your reading. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You chose this card, of course, the Rooster and Sunflower with Communication. This is card number 47. And we're going to put this here. We'll put this up here with its friends. And this one, I guess we will put it here. And this really wants to stay with its card, so we're going to put it here. It's being very insistent that its rights are respected. It's bound. It has some specific boundaries here, this card today. So yes, so this is going to be our main oracle, not our main, it's going to be our consistent oracle card for all 3 piles. So this is your oracle card that you chose, and we also have 2 stacks of tea leaves, so I will shuffle them. And oh, this one almost flipped right out. That means we should pay attention to it. No way. It looks like you want it, this other one wants to come out. All right, so we will take one from this pile. It already wanted to come out. We got our 4 really quickly. All right, so let's see what we're dealing with here. Wealth. This is the one that popped right out. Nice work, pile number 1. What else do we have? Psychic ability, trust your intuition. Very interesting. Happiness. Wow. You're killing it, pile number 1 already. And Spear, heartache over what you no longer have. That is so interesting because these are mirroring this like fresh new start, this dawn and everything. But then this Spear is mirroring this ending. But I have to say the Spear is being overshadowed by all this other stuff. It really is. So there might be some regret, but let's see what else we have here. So I have 3 decks, 3 actual tarot decks here. So I'm going to pick 4 cards from this deck. I think I see all 4. So this is number 1. This is number 2. This is number 3. And this is number 4. And then I'm going to pick 3 cards from this deck. are. And then 2 from this deck. Is that 2? That is 2, right? Yep. We are all set. Popped right out. All right, what do we have for your week ahead, pile number 1? Let's start. The Lovers with Aphrodite. All right, so here's this right away. Now we have the Moon with Selene. And, oh, sorry, this is recent past. I don't know why, I'm just very, I'm very excited about this reading. And I keep on forgetting, keep on jumping ahead. This is your recent past. So this is the Lovers, your recent past. This is your present. This very moment, your present moment, the Moon with Selene. Now, this is your near future, very soon. Temperance with Artemis. So we already have 3 major arcana here in a row. Now, this card is not necessarily about timing anymore. It is advice. What advice are you getting right now? The 9 of Swords. Wow, look at the mirroring with your Oracle card here. Spear, look at that. So close. The only way it would have been closer is if it was the 3 of Swords. Or not, maybe not even. Maybe this is really what needed to come out. This is so interesting. Well, no, actually, this is a totally different... I mean, okay, so the 3 of Swords would have mirrored the concept, the overall concept of this Spear card. But the message is completely different, and I'm going to get to the message here in just a moment. The message for you, pile number 1, is different than if I had pulled the 3 of Swords. Let us see. So this next card is symbolizing something in the 3D. It could be anything, a person, people, a place, a thing, a happening, anything in the 3D. 10 of Cups. This is total wish fulfillment. Look, you could not be any happier than this card. Look at all these little otter feet. And they each have a little jewel. Do you see that? They each have their own little jewel. I'm going to get it as close as I can while it focuses. They each have a little jewel. This is the most charming little card. So your 3D is coming up with all this wealth and happiness that is already seen in this Oracle card. Like, I don't know, this nexus of Oracle cards here. There's one theme, which is a very soft theme. It's a theme that is not... It's the underlying theme. It's not the overpowering theme. It's the undercurrent theme, and it's not as strong. So we have 2 more positions. This next position here is something that is either helping you or something that is hindering you, or both. You know, it could symbolize 2 things. And it's usually something that's at least partially hidden from you right now, okay? So firstly, we have the King of Wands, very favorable here. So maybe you're channeling the King of Wands, or maybe you are being helped by someone outside of you in the King of Wands energy. And this is your second one for this, the 8 of Wands. Wow, look at the lizard party. I want to go to the lizard party. Look at the little vocalists. Oh my gosh, look at this. I want to go to the lizard party in the desert this weekend. That's I'm sorry, that's my plans for the weekend now. I'm gonna find this party. All right, so then we have two more we have two more cards. And this position is an offered resolution. It's like something, if it's something that if you keep going the way you are, or maybe this is if you change, you know, something, there's an offered resolution here, depending on what you do, depending on what you're manifesting and how you're manifesting and what you continue to do. So we have the Queen of Cups. Another extremely favorable card. Look at how happy these ghosts are. And we have the Chariot. Oh my gosh. This is such an interesting reading, pile number 1. You know what? Give me a second. I'm going to come right back. I'm going to move these cards over a little bit so you can see everything here. All right, pile number 1. What an interesting reading. Listen, this is what we have. We have something in the past, this Lover's card, and this seems like a relationship from your past. It's probably the recent past. For a lot of you, it's a love relationship. For some of you, it might not be. It might be a different relationship, or it might be something so important to you that it's like, if you're in love with your career, if you love what you do with a passion, maybe that's what this symbolizes. Or it's a family member that you love and you respect. You know, it's something extremely important to you that you love. But for a lot of you, it's a love relationship. That's what's happened in the past. And I really, you know, obviously, if this relationship ended, of course, there's a 9 of Swords and the spear and the ending. If this ended, if this relationship ended, that's what this undercurrent is symbolizing. And of course, if you love your career and you had a setback or something like that, then obviously that's going to be what this means. But something happened. There was an ending for you. And it's not happening now, and it's not happening in the future because you already have the heartache and you're already in this, like you have experienced or you are experiencing this 9 of Swords energy. This might be from the recent past or it might be now. And what's happening here? Okay, so heartache over what you no longer have, so clear. We don't have to necessarily, you know, say this is like so clear. There's no ambiguity to this one. This, however, this 9 of Swords is you're torturing yourself with your thoughts. So you see, there's no hands on these little daggers. There's no outside influence wielding these daggers, causing him pain. It is he himself and his thoughts that are wielding these daggers. And so your advice, very simply, is to look somewhere else. Stop doing that. Stop torturing yourself with your own thoughts. Point blank, there's no two ways about it. Stop torturing yourself with your own thoughts. Because look at all the rest of this magic, pile number 1, and look at this. Trust your intuition. That's a great sentiment, but if you're really a conscious manifester, you either have heard or you're going to hear it from me right now. There is no such thing as intuition. It's your assumptions. Your assumptions create your reality. So if somebody is unaware that their assumptions create their reality, then they're going to say, oh, I have good intuition. I knew that was going to happen. Well, it happened because you knew beforehand that it was going to happen, meaning you assumed something was going to happen, good or bad, or indifferent, and it happened. Therefore, there is no such thing as intuition. It is assumptions made manifest. So, what do we have here in the present? The Moon card. And the Moon card is, it's such an interesting card because of all the cards in the deck. The Moon card is, it's even the upright position is built in, the reversed position is built into the upright position. Even the upright position has a mixed, it's very mixed. You can be using, it's like intuition, funnily enough. It's very aligned with this card. And you can use your intuition for good, for you know, for conscious manifesting, for instance. Or you can use your intuition, your power, your mental power for bad. Looking right here, we see clearly that he is using his mental power for bad. The worst thing, he's doing the worst thing he can, which is torturing himself with his own thoughts. So this is your present moment, and this, if you have been doing this to yourself, this present moment, that's why we got this in the present moment. The present moment right now is your chance to stop it. Right now. Rein in your thoughts. And I know it's easier said than done. I so know that. But in the end, it's you are in 100% control of your inner landscape. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You're in control of your inner landscape, and you're the one who can control your thoughts. So your message for right now in this present moment is control your thoughts and focus them on what you want. And your stuff is so rich. Your entire reading is so rich. And this is why we have this Temperance in the third position, which is the the near future. And this is so illustrating the point. This reading is so clear. I'm so excited about it. So this reading is so clear because she is bringing balance back into her life. She is bringing intention back into her life. She is bringing, she's calming the surface. So, you know, when you're near a body of water, a lake, let's say you're at a lake in the evening when the full moon arises, and if it's windy and there's a storm brewing, the water is so choppy that you can't really see the moon's reflection at all. You can see like little bits of the moonlight on the waves, but you can't see the image of the moon. You come back another evening, the full moon rises, and it's a very calm evening. The surface of the water and underneath the water is just as smooth as glass, and you can see a perfect reflection of the moon on that lake's surface. So we have this card is the choppy lake where you cannot see the moon at all reflected. And this card is the very still, placid, glass-like lake where you can perfectly see the moon. And you see right here what is right behind both of them. This is the full moon. And for me, that is really, I mean, that's really significant. And the full moon is coming up. I'm not sure exactly which day, but the full moon is coming up extremely soon. couple days, if that. So we have, yes, and this is your advice, but we've already covered this. Your advice is to take control of your inner landscape, however you can, however makes sense for you, however you can. And remember that your theme for this reading is this rooster and sunflower communication. My theme for it is dawn arises. Dawn arises for you. And dawn, oops, I just realized you can't see your crystal. Dawn arises for you, pile number 1. So we have the moon here. And once you still the waters, then you're going to have the sunrise. You have to be in the nighttime and still your waters. And then once you've done so, then your dawn arises, if you understand me. So this is your 3D, and I just have to say, pile number 1, you're just expecting something huge and wonderful in your 3D very soon. This is, the 10 of Cups is abundance, and it's also, you know, emotional abundance. It's monetary abundance and emotional abundance. It's a lot. It's just like general overall fulfillment. Very happy. You can see, I mean, this picture perfectly illustrates what the 10 of Cups is all about. It's such a charming, beautiful illustration for a charming and beautiful card and meaning. Very fulfilling stuff happening for you in your 3D, and you see it also in your oracle cards. You have the wealth card, you have the happiness card. Very beautiful, and they came just athwart each other here. So then we're coming to one of the most interesting, you have a lot of synchronicity in your reading. We're coming to one of the most interesting synchronicities of your reading. So this is what might help you or what might hinder you. And this is a chosen final outcome. They mirror each other so closely because there's the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups, both very favorable. Manifestation, thoughts into action, thoughts into just thoughts into reality. That is the formula for the King of Wands. Thoughts transmuting themselves into reality. And the Queen of Ghosts, which is the Queen of Cups, that's what the Queen of Cups is called in this deck. It is emotional fulfillment and abundance and just being where you want to be, being in the place at the time with the people that fulfill you completely. So these are very much embodying the states that we all want to be in as human beings, right? And then we have this accompanying card for each of them. The 8 of Wands is swift forward movement. And I know it's kind of funny because look at this, they're all very stationary. I mean, they're having a good time, but they're not moving, which is funny. But then we also have this Chariot, which is just swift movement. This is the kind of major forward, like moving forward by leaps and bounds. You see all these ghosts in the, skeletons on the fence there. They're so shocked about how much forward movement. They're like, you're speeding. Stop. This pumpkin head figure is speeding a lot. So they're saying, slow down, you're speeding. Oh, wow. Anyway, they're mirroring each other. So there's these came out to tell you that this good part of your life that we're seeing a bunch of Look, there, so much. And, you know, and there is coming to you very quickly. And the only thing you need to do is concentrate on it. The only thing you need to do is get your inner landscape, your inner thoughts in control. And once you get them aligned and you step away from this energy and get them aligned to what you want, they come in so quickly. It's like this whole second half of your reading here, this whole thing, and most of your oracle cards are all saying the same thing. Getting your thoughts into alignment and concentrating on what you want, focusing on what you want, and not focusing on what you have lost or what you don't want is key. And it's the only key, pile number 1. This is such a powerful reading. This is a powerful, powerful reading, and I love it for you. And it's so beautiful, so meaningful, and so, it's all encompassing. It encompasses everything. It's like all the happiness that a human wants is all coming straight towards you, pile number 1. What else do you want? What else can you want, right? I'm so happy for you. I love it that you are here to share this with me. Thank you so much. Thank you also so much for all of your likes, shares, and comments. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any readings. And I love this for you, and I know I'll see you very soon. Bye for now. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading. You chose this card, the Quail and Gooseberry, with anticipation. It's card number 51. And you also chose this green Aventurine hexagonal point. I always want to make sure all the beauties of the crystals come out for you. So this is your crystal. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put this, your main oracle card, right here. And I'm going to put this one next to it. This is the one that's the common oracle card for all of the readings. And this one wants to be here. All right, so I have 2 stacks of tea leaves, and I don't know, this one came out, I don't know which one this was, but there's 2 Astral House cards that came out on the last one, and this one, you saw it was really wanting to come up for this one too. The Astral House cards are just like, whoa, okay. Oh, all right. And then, let's see what this one is. Let's pick 2 from this one. And then this one. All right. What do we have here? This is the Wealth card. This is the one that came out on the last reading on pile number 1. The Bull charged right out of the deck. Do not back down from opposition, so show strength and fortitude. All right. And they're very well aligned in the colors too. Sun, happiness and well-being. So interesting because pile number 1, so funny. Pile number 1 had wealth and happiness. And now you have wealth and sun, which is signifying happiness and well-being. Very synchronistic. So then we have this month of the year, August. And what is here? It's the sun. And as soon as I pulled this over, I could just imagine the sun on my skin, the crickets and grasshoppers and birds singing, and just that hazy summer afternoon. So beautiful. All right. All right, so I have 3 decks, and this is the first one. I'm going to pull 4 cards from this one. Oh, and I want to remind you about the phrase I picked out for this reading. It is hidden treasures, and that's very appropriate with the wealth card. Let's see what this deck is going to give us. One. Sometimes all decks have kind of a secretive air about them, and this one is having this right now. It's like wanting to keep its own counsel. Here's that. So we have 4. Oh my gosh, I think I had one. Took 4 from this one. That's one more than I usually take. So obviously you needed 4. And I'm going to take 2 cards from this one. There's this one and this one. All right. I'm so excited. What hidden treasures are we going to get? So this card, pile number 2, is the recent past. The Emperor with Zeus, of course. There we go. And this card is the present moment. The 6 of Swords with Eos. Can you see everything here? And this is the near future. The Hermit with Hermes. Pile number 1 was also very major arcana heavy. All right, this card is advice. Advice for your present moment. The Queen of Swords with Circe. It's interesting. Look, the pose and the backgrounds, everything is very similar. The skeletons, the horned skeletons, very interesting. There's some message that's wanting to come out more than once here. So everything will be clearer as things get clearer as we as we continue. So since we have 4 cards from this deck, this is the 5th position, and we're going to pull 2 cards for this one. This is something in your 3D. It could be a person, it could be a group of people, it could be a building or some other place. It could be a force of nature. It could be anything in the 3D. So the first card we have for this is the Temperance card. Yet another major arcana. And the second card is the 10 of Cups. Wow. No way. The 10 of Cups came out for pile number... I'm sorry, I'm just so astounded. The 10 of Cups came out for pile number 1 in this position. All right, so then now this position, the next position is something that's helping you or something that's hindering you, and it's something that's usually at least partially hidden from you in the present moment. The first card is the Chariot. Another card that pile number 1 had from a different deck. And the second card for this position is the 7 of Cups. Look at how charming this card is. Is the frog falling in love with himself? What a cute card. And now this position is the final position, and it is an offered resolution. Like, if you continue to do things the way you are doing them, or maybe you change them according to something you see here, or, you know, something you realize in, you know, the present moment or in the near future, it's something that is offered as a resolution. The Three of Pentacles. And the, oh, wow, the World card. Wow, pile number 2. And then you have these bioluminescent creatures. It's so funny, this World card. Listen, I'm going to be back in just a moment. I'm just going to move some stuff over a tad so we can see everything. So first of all, pile number 2, I just wanted to say there are so many similarities and common themes to pile number 1. You have a lot of cards that they have. They had also the Temperance card, the 10 of Cups, they had the Chariot, they had the Wealth, and they had, remember, they had the Happiness, which is in this Sun card. And they had the Happiness right here next to the Wealth. And of course they had this common Oracle card. I think there might have even been more. I mean, you have so many cards that pile number 1 had, that so that if you do have an interest in seeing, in watching pile number 1, you might find some messages that are similar to this. The theme you have for this reading is hidden treasures. And there are a lot of treasures, but just like pile number 1, there is a leaving behind aspect of this and a going within aspect. You had, this is your recent past, you had some real stability, you had even maybe some wealth, you had some stability, not just necessarily in relationships, you also had it in wealth. You had a very stable position, pile number 2, very stable, not necessarily a very passionate or like you weren't extremely passionate about it, but you were very stable. And in the present moment, you are in the midst of leaving that behind. And there might have been some things in this situation from the past that you really liked or even loved, but there are also some things that you are really going to miss about your past, that you are about this situation that you were leaving behind. And a lot of it is the stability. You loved the stability of your situation. And now you're having to face that there really was an ending to whatever this was. And of course it could be anything. It could be a job, could be a relationship, could be anything in your life. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It could be groundbreaking. It could be earth-shattering. It could have been something foundational to your life. But since this is a weekly reading, it could be something smaller than like a huge part of your life, but there really is, for a lot of you, it is a big thing. It is a big thing. So there's that. And it is, this reading is so phenomenal because we have the ending and then we have the completion of it. Like there's a whole new cycle. It's a whole new cycle. And then all of the wealth and the sun come out that you left behind. There was the stability and the abundance that you left behind. And you're in the process of leaving it behind in the present moment. And then there's all of this wonderful stuff coming for you, which I find so interesting. So I have to, while we're on the topic of this transition, we have this transition early on. That's just like what happened for pile number 1. Very early transition. It's not like the transition like went all the way here and then you finally have some stuff happening. The transition is happening early on, and then you have all these phenomenal messages for yourself. And this bull, do not back down from opposition, show strength and fortitude. This is not an external, this is not external advice. This is internal advice. This is for you, pile number 2, to not back down from changing your negative beliefs and your negative thoughts. This is you finding the sun, which is your happiness and well-being, finding it within yourself. Once you have it within yourself, it is reflected out. What does the sun do? It reflects on any single thing it can. It reflects on even off of surfaces that are like barely reflective. It will reflect as much as it can. I mean, the sun is our engine of our solar system, of course. It's huge, immense power. It's a mind-boggling power. And you have 2 cards that are just the sun. That's all that they have is the artwork is just the sun. So you're in the midst of harnessing this mind-boggling power, and that is your will, your attention, your being, your I amness. So what do? You do not back down. You concentrate on what you want. You're having to fill this void. And it happened. It already happened. The ending has already happened. You're in the middle of not having it. In the present moment, you don't have it. And it doesn't matter, pile number 2, whether you are wanting to get that back, whether you're wanting something new, to replace it, or whether you want something completely new that doesn't have anything to do with what you left behind or are leaving behind. It's imperative that you stay the course and you allow your own inner landscape, your inner thoughts, to reflect into your outer world. You want your thoughts to be about what you want and what you're manifesting right from your mind, from your brain out. And your mind, think of your brain as the sun, and you are just sending out just massive amounts of energy, which is your thoughts and your attention and your focus. And when you do, the entire world has no choice but to reflect that back to you. That is your number 1 and your only message. And what do we have up here? Of course, I know I'm skipping ahead, but this is a reflection card. All right, I'm going to do it in order. I'm going to resist my urge to skip ahead. So now we have this Hermit card, and this is your near future, and this is you stepping back from the hurt, the pain, the sorrow, whatever it is that you're feeling, which is your present moment. You're feeling some kind of way, a certain way about what happened in the past, about what you left behind. This is you in the very near future, pile number 2, stepping back from that in becoming, again, a conscious manifester. Or maybe for the first time, you're becoming the conscious manifester that is going to harness the power of your mind. And what do? This is why we got this Queen of Swords in your advice. The Queen of Swords, she is the queen of harnessing her intellect. See this sphere around her head and his head? The sphere around her head, This is her thoughts. She is this mini sun. She is the sun. She's just exactly what I was telling you. She's harnessed the might of her power, her attention, her intention, her awareness, and she is shining it out. And the world has no choice but to reflect it back. Do you see, Hermes has this as well, but his is not as prevalent. His is not as advanced. His is not as focused as hers. He's stepped back from the world. She is fully engaged with the world. He is maybe still formulating his plan. She is fully aware of her plan, and she is just manifesting and manifesting, and she is thinking only of her wish. She is thinking only of what she wants. She's thinking of it as already here, and it is, the world has no choice but to reflect all that she is thinking. So this is your your near future, and this is the advice. Become this Queen of Swords. That's your advice. So, how perfect about this. The first card, so this position with these two cards is the environment, the 3D. And what do we have here? We have this unicorn being reflected. So this is you, and this is the world. It's reflecting exactly what you want to be. You want to be the unicorn. Thank you for being a unicorn. Thank you for holding up the unicorn ways, pile number 2. You wanted to become a unicorn. You were a horse or maybe a donkey. You've been a horse or a donkey, but you're like, no, I'm a unicorn. And everybody's saying, well, you're a donkey, because you're in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I'm a donkey, I'm not a real unicorn. But you're like, no, I'm a unicorn, no, I'm a unicorn, no, I'm a unicorn. You're thinking you're a unicorn, you're wanting to be a unicorn, you're just obsessed with being a unicorn. And time after time, everybody says, well, no, you're a donkey. And you say, no, well, in your mind, you don't have to say you can or can't say, you don't have to say it out loud, but you're like, I'm a unicorn. Finally, one day, the world reflects, you step out and everybody says, hey, it's a unicorn. Oh, wow, pile number 2, you've done it. You have successfully become a unicorn, and the world has no choice but to reflect back as that you are now a unicorn. That's what's going on in the 3D. People are reflecting back to you. The whole world is reflecting back to you what you are. And the 3D also has this message for you. This is the exact same message in the exact same card as pile number 1. Happiness. And this is abundance, and it's emotional fulfillment. This is a wish fulfillment card. This is a very fortunate. I mean, I love the 10 of Pentacles, but I have to say the 10 of Pentacles is abundance, right? The 10 of Cups is just even more. The 10 of Cups is happiness and fulfillment and abundance. Maybe not as much abundance as the 10 of Pentacles, but it's got it's everything. It's like it's just total happiness. Pile number 2. What a beautiful card. And this obviously is echoed with this wealth. So it's this emotional and abundance fulfillment for you. And what, like this happiness and well-being in this August, it's just so happy and warm and fulfilling. You have such beautiful things coming for you in the 3D pile number 2. Amazing cards. What do we have here? This is what might be helping you or what might be hindering you. And it's so interesting, this little duo. We have decision and we have indecision. We have knowing exactly what you want and exactly where you're going, and we're being stuck in a place because we can't decide where we want to go. We have single-mindedness. We have just indecision and I don't even know how to say it. It's just I'm going to see what I'm say what I'm seeing, because you see that this reflection looks much more engaging than the reality. But the reflection is not the real reality. The real reality is this. The reflection is this. It's not the real thing, whereas this is the real thing. The Temperance card is, you know, it's temperance. It's like balanced and just knowing this. This card is knowing exactly what you want it to be, and you're finally that. The world is reflecting back to you what you have wanted it to. In this, the world is not reflecting back to you what you are, so it's very fleeting and temporary. This reflection here, this froggy, it might be temporary, it might be very gratifying to be, instead of kind of a gray, it's now green. Instead of having this heart be monochrome, it's this bright pink. It's so wonderful, this reflection, but it's fleeting. And the next time this froggy looks into the water, it's back to its own regular monochrome self. What the froggy has to do is change itself. And soon, if it tries, if it does, if it focuses, then it will change itself, and then the reflection it sees will be always this way. So, what's helping you is what we've seen already. This single-mindedness, very similar, so similar to pile number 1. And then we have this final outcome that's offered. We have a lot of abundance, we have more abundance, we have working together, reaching a goal, and then we have the world, which is everything, just a completion of a cycle. So we have two cards that are very similar in at least part of their meaning. This is working together to reach a goal. So you've got someone or something or some organization, maybe something, I don't know, but you are reaching a goal with this person, with these people. You're coming together. You're having a good time working with your cat or whoever to reach this beautiful goal of building something worthwhile. And this world card, I mean, it's just everything that you could possibly want or imagine all together there for you. Pile number 2, it's all, everything's beautifully set up exactly the way you want it. This world card is just everything together. It's just the moon, the planets, the stars, everything's aligned, and there's nothing else to say. This is an outcome that is offered to you, pile number 2, everything that you want. I mean, it's like you have so many favorable cards. And what is your card that you chose? This is this anticipation card. And what your cards are showing you is that you don't have to be anticipating it for a long time. It's coming for you very soon. This chariot, remember, this chariot is like forward motion. This chariot is forward motion of intention, just like you know exactly what you want and you're going to get it. Don't get sidetracked. That's what the 7 of Cups is saying. Don't get sidetracked. Do not back down. Remember, do not back down from opposition. Show strength and fortitude And what is the strength and fortitude needed for? It's needed for you to stay the course, persist, persevere. It was Neville Goddard's birthday yesterday as I'm recording this, and he was the king of saying persevere. Persevere, pile number 2. Don't back down from what you want, because what you want, the wealth, the happiness, the well-being, the sunshine, the world, the 10 of Cups, everything that you want is yours. And all you have to do is keep it in your mind. I am the unicorn, I am the unicorn, I am the unicorn. And pretty soon the whole world is going to say, yes, you are the unicorn. You, pile number 2, are now a unicorn, and all you have to do is enjoy it. So this is your amazing reading. And once again, if you had any interest in seeing pile number 1, they're very similar. So maybe check out pile number 1 if you want some further messages on this general, this general whole feeling, this whole message. So thank you so much for joining me, pile number 2. I really hope you enjoyed it. I know you hope you enjoyed it. It's amazing reading. And thank you so much for all your likes, your shares, and your comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future readings. And I know I'll see you very soon. Bye for now. Hey, pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose this card, the Horse and Bluebell with Modest Fortitude. This is card number 49. It's a very beautiful card, so lovely. And with this card, I chose this Lapis Lazuli hexagonal point to accompany it. Of course, it's blue for the bluebells. And this is your main oracle card. We'll put it right here. Oh, no, we'll put this up here. And then we will put this card that we have for all 3 readings here. And this theme that I chose for this reading is Honor Thyself. So let us get some more oracle cards. We have these 2 stacks of tea leaves, so I'm going to take 2 cards from each. Wow. We have this one and this one. And now let us get a little message from this one. We have 4 oracle cards. I'm very curious here. Let's see. Ring. A marriage will take place, either romantic or business. A business marriage. All right. Boat. Money or property through an inheritance, winning or windfall. Wow. Pile number 3, you're like hitting the jackpot here. What is over here? Let's see. Wreath. Sorrow over a loss. And that's, see, we're seeing this ending here. Vase. Ooh, secret admirer. I wonder if the secret admirer is going to end up with the marriage. Involving the marriage. All right, pile number 3. What do we have here? This is the first of 3 decks I have, so we're going to pull 4 cards from this one. Wow. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we have this deck, which is next, and I'm going to pull 3 cards from it. 1, 2, and 3. And then we have this deck. I'm going to pull 2 cards from it. 1 and 2. Very excited. What do we have here? So this is the first card, and this card is symbolizing the recent past. The Lover's card, how weird. This is the exact same card we had for pile number 1 in this exact same position. And I don't know how many times I shuffled that deck. I must have shuffled it at least 4 times. And that came out, you know, in between pulling this for pile number 1 and this reading of pile number 3. How funny. So this card represents the present moment, right now. The 7 of Cups with Hesperus. Some sort of choice. You're not, I kind of want to say stuck, yet it might not, it might be stuck, it might not be as ominous seeming as stuck, but you're in a moment of choice, and it's kind of almost stagnant, maybe. All right, so here is the next card. This is your near future. The 2 of Pentacles with Oceanus. We have one more card from this deck, and this is advice. Advice for your present moment. The Strength card, of course, with Atlas. Who else would be on the Strength card? He's holding up the world. It's quite a job for a Titan. Even for a Titan, that's a big job, holding up the entire world. So we have, this is the 5th position. This is your 3D. It could be a person, it could be a group of people, it could be a place, a happening, an event, a natural phenomenon, something like that. Anything like that. So this is the Hanged Man. Very interesting. I love this bat. The bat on the top is so funny. It's saying, I rule this tree, I rule this branch. All right, so we have 2 more positions. This first position here is something that's either helping you or hindering you, or maybe both. And it's usually something that at least is partially hidden from you. So we have 2 cards signifying this position. The first one is the Death card. So this is exactly mirroring this one. And look at how happy this Death card. I don't think I've ever seen a happy, well, actually this deck also has, probably these 2 decks have the happiest Death cards I have ever seen. Look at how happy this skeleton is as it's clattering over to see this beautiful tulip that just sprung out of the cracked mud. This Death card is so happy. And now this is the second card for that position, which is the Fool. Fools rush in, right? So wow, look at all this synchronicity. We have this world being held up by Atlas, then we have the world with the Fool is balancing on the world on its tiptoes while it's juggling, and then we have this Death. So we have the Death card, and right athwart it we have this Fool. So this vacuum is created by this death, by this ending, by this loss, and so something runs in to fill the void, and what is running in to fill the void is this Fool card. So interesting. So now we have 2 cards for this final position, which is like an offered final outcome, something that could happen if you, depending on what you do and depending on what you want. It's an offered final outcome. The first card is the Knight of Pumpkins, which is the Knight of Pentacles. And the second card is the Ace of Pumpkins, which is the Ace of Pentacles. Another they're so mirroring here. So give me a second. I'm going to move these over so you can see everything, and I'll be right back. All right, pile number 3, very, very interesting reading you have here. This is the first card, of course, we're going to look at. It's your recent past. It's the Lovers. Very interestingly, the Lovers can signify a love relationship, obviously, but it also could signify a choice. And what is so interesting about it is the 7 of Cups is a choice. It's just like a lot of choices. It's kind of immobilized by choices almost. And then we have the 2 of Cups. I'm sorry, the 2 of Pentacles, which is also, I mean, it's just like such a weird 1, 2, 3 thing here in your past, your recent past, your present, and your near future. So this Lovers card, as I said, some of you might have something about a relationship, a love relationship, especially in your recent past. So I think some of you have something about a love relationship. It's either you just started one, or you just finished one, or there's something going on about you need to make a decision. But others of you, if this is not applicable, it's because this is really reiterating all of this choice series. A series of choices we have going on. So the Lovers card signifies also a choice as well as romantic, you know, as well as love. So there's something about a choice in the past, recent past. And if we look at this literally, she's chosen, she's Aphrodite. She can get anyone she wants. She's the goddess of love and beauty. She could get anyone. And what's she choosing to do? She's choosing to hold on to this marble statue, which can't even give her a hug. It can give her nothing. It gives her absolutely nothing, and she gives it everything, and it gives her absolutely nothing. So obviously this does not need to represent an actual love relationship for you. It could be anything. It could be you giving something to a friend and them giving you nothing in return. You giving something to a job and it giving you nothing in return, etc., etc. All right, so there's something in your recent past, there's something that has been going on that feels like this kind of, not even a bottomless pit, because a bottomless pit can at least absorb what you're giving it. This marble statue just can't do anything. It's just inert. It's completely inert. It's like it's absolutely an inert thing that can neither absorb nor reflect, do anything. So what have you been giving your love and attention and time and effort and etc., talents and everything to, that has not been giving you anything in return? So here we have your present moment right now, and this is indecision. This is faced with choices and faced with possible outcomes. You are undecided. You at once feel like you have too many choices and not enough choices, that you have too much to think about and not enough to think about, that you have too many responsibilities, yet you don't have anything to work for. I mean, this 7 of Cups in this reading is extremely significant. Pile number 3. You are in this moment where you just are feeling the effects of giving your time, your attention, your focus to something that has been so far completely inert. And you know, it could even be that this is signifying, sorry, I'm fooling around with the cards here trying to get everything perfect. This statue could actually signify the entire 3D. This could signify your manifesting career, for lack of a better term. You could be feeling like I, pile number 3, have been trying to manifest. You might be feeling, I, pile number 3, have been trying to manifest my dream life, and this is the 3D, it's giving me nothing. You could even be thinking that. And then that's your recent past, and then now we come to the present moment, and you're thinking, I just can't. I have too many things that I want, and yet I have nothing. I have too many desires, and I also have too many disappointments. I, pile number 3, am at a standstill because I'm overwhelmed. And I'm crying these tears of gold or whatever, or bronze or whatever this is. This it looks like he's crying metal, to tell you the truth. So what is going on for you, pile number 3? I'm telling you, because this is your near future, and this is bringing, you're gonna be still having probably a choice to make in the near future, but you have become way more balanced. This is you becoming much more balanced, being able to get everything under control internally in your internal landscape. And you see, this is the ocean, obviously. This is Oceanus. This is the ocean, but look how obedient it's being. It's totally just curling around him like a boa, like a feather boa. He has been able to manipulate the 3D to follow his wishes. And that's going to be you in the near future. You're just calming the inner landscape. If his inner landscape was like yours is right now, then the sea would be just buffeting him. There'd be tsunamis dragging him up. He would be like all battered, and he'd have seaweed hanging over his face and sand in his teeth. But no, he's calmed his inner landscape. And the sea is now obedient to his wishes, which is his 3D. Your near future is exactly what Oceanus's present is. Your 3D will be obeying you so much. And so there is an ending for you. There is, because it's both helping you and hindering you. This is the helping or hindering, and it's both helping you and hindering you. Because there is sorrow over a loss. You have something that you've been working for, and you haven't seen any progress. No progress. And to you, you're starting to consider it a loss. It's something, okay, I'm going to give you exactly what's going on. There's something in your 3D that is a kind of a black hole for you. You're putting your effort into it, you're putting everything into it, and there's nothing coming back to you. You are seeing it, you're starting to perceive it as a loss, because you're starting to perceive it as a lost cause. And you're starting to perceive it as an ending. You're starting to perceive it as part of your past, as a death. And that is only your perception. If you want it to be an ending, if you want it to be a part of your past, then that's fine, it will be. But if you perceive it, if your choice is to perceive it as part of your future, then that's going to be your thoughts being very obedient to your 3D being very obedient to your thoughts. The ending for you, pile number 3, is only an ending if you perceive it, if you continue to perceive it as an ending. The death, the loss, the death card is signifying a loss, it's signifying an ending. It's not signifying necessarily an actual death. The loss is only a loss if you perceive it as a loss. If you perceive it as a temporary thing that's already over, then that's what it's going to be. So, what is your advice? Your advice is to find this strength within you to calm your waters. You know that the earth is covered almost all the way, all around with water. Of course, the actual earth itself is mostly elements, right? Elements other, it's not mostly water, it's mostly, you know, other elements. But the surface of the earth is mostly water. And that is what is having to be controlled for you to get anywhere, is this stormy surface. The stormy surface is controlled. So in aggregate, in aggregate, seen from space, the ocean looks motionless. The ocean looks completely still because it's so immense and they're so far away from space. You can't see the movement of the ocean. I mean, I'm sure you can, you know, telescopes, whatever, but seen from a great distance, it's completely placid looking. And that's what you need to be. You need to calm your mind so much that you are seeing things in aggregate, seeing things from a distance, and finding your strength to perceive the world as what you want. You're holding, and also you're holding, this is your preferred world. Down here somewhere is your unpreferred world, is the world of ending, is the world of sorrow over a loss, is the world of death. Not, I mean, again, it's not necessarily, you know, it's the death card is not signifying necessarily actual death. It's signifying an ending, a void, stuff like that. So the 7 of Cups is you being roiled with the seaweed hanging off your head. 2 of Pentacles is you bringing this into control and balance. The Strength card is you having the strength to hold your preferred world in your mind with no wavering. Of course, you know what? Of course you can have thoughts about something you don't want. That's okay, that happens. But you don't have to dwell on it. You can just be like, no, I don't want that. A memory comes up that you don't like. A memory comes up that flies right in the face of your preferred outcome. Maybe a memory of what happened in the past. Of course, what else would a memory be? But specifically about what happened in the past that you've been, you know, manifesting the opposite of. Your strength is saying, no, you know, I acknowledge that I'm having this memory, this thought, but no, I don't want that. This is what I prefer. So now, and I mean, this is just a complete reading, I have to say, in itself. These 4 cards, your reading is so amazing, pile number 3. So this is your 3D card, and it is the Hanged Man. And it is waiting, hanging around, and it is something that you have been experiencing. It echoes this card, where she has been wanting to manifest, let's say she's wanting to manifest a beautifully wonderful partner that he treats her beautifully. He loves her. He takes her out dancing on Friday nights into an Italian dinner. Well, no, it would be a Greek dinner, but because these are the Greek gods. But instead, she's actually in reality manifested just a marble statue that doesn't do anything for her, can't do anything for her. And so this Hanged Man is completely beautifully echoing the sentiments of that, where it's just the 3D. You feel like the 3D is just hanging around being the 3D and not doing anything for you, so to speak. Nothing's going, nothing's progressing. But right around the corner here is all of this. Look at this. So there is this ending, this death card, but what is going on inside this particular death card? It's so happy that this void happened. What happened in this card? So we're on the theme of water. So what happened in this card? This place, this was just a normal old place, a normal old field, let's say, and then some massive flood came through, and it just was stripped away everything. It stripped away all the grass, it stripped away all the everything, right? And it's just all barren. And this used to be tough, like a whole bunch of grass. There's nothing else. This grass was so virile that it just, nothing else could grow there. And so this flood stripped it all away. And then what grew, because everything got stripped away, this beautiful tulip was able to grow. So don't ask me for details about how this fantastical story happened, but it's illustrating my point. The only reason this tulip was able to grow is because everything else got stripped away. And so the skeleton is so happy. It loves its new tulip. It was hanging around here with the grass, and it was so bored of the grass. It thought the grass was here to stay. It thought it had to live with the grass forever. It thought it would never see anything else but grass, grass, grass. It was tired of mowing. It only has a push mower. It didn't have a sit-down mower. It was so tired of its life, and it thought it would never, ever, ever do anything except mow the grass and sit around. And now it doesn't have to mow the grass, and it has this beautiful tulip. So there's this. And now we also have the world again. And remember, in aggregate, you cannot see the storms. So now we are away, we are lifted up. This is the second card in which we are lifted away so that we see the world from space, and we can not see the storms. We only see the beautiful blue surface that looks completely still, like the marble, if you actually think about it. And we are able to create everything anew because everything has been washed clean. Everything has turned to our wishes, and everything has calmed to the point where it looks like it never was a problem. All of what we didn't want, what we were so sick of, has been washed away. And what it is wonderful. What we have now is wonderful. So this sorrow over a loss can turn to returning. This sorrow over a loss, this ending, can turn to, depending on what you concentrate on, can turn to a renewal, or it can turn to new. You can have a secret admirer that is an old flame. You can have a secret admirer that is a new flame. You're going to have success in love and business. You're going to have a windfall here. And these last two cards are the final outcome that is offered to you. And this is the Ace of Pentacles, which is creating something new that is massively, has the potential for massive abundance. And accompanying that, which is such a favorable combination, is the Knight of Pentacles, which is this determination and focus and skill to take the steps needed to make it a success, to drive forward to the final, not perceived, the final desired outcome. Do you see how focused even the horse is? The horse is the engine that is driving forward. Let's be real. The knight is just sitting there. I mean, I know that riding a horse, I do ride horses. I know that riding a horse does take a lot of strength and a lot of concentration, whatever, but the engine behind the forward movement is this horse. And we don't actually know. It might be a unicorn, or it might be a horse with a unicorn costume. We don't know. But the horse needs the determination and the strength in this. The knight less so. So the knight is, focused on where it wants to go, but the horse is really focused on where it wants to go, and it's really determined, and it's putting its best effort in. And so we have two, maybe you're working with someone else, or maybe you are so determined about two things. There's a duality basically about this. But if you are being helped by someone, they're even more determined than you are, and it's a wonderful partnership. Because remember, we have either a romantic or a business partnership, and I'm telling you, pile number 3, they want it even more than you do, and they are focused on success. And so whatever this real abundance that you are desiring is going to come to you more than you even thought. More than you even thought. And you have this beautiful promise of secret admirer, marriage, abundance, and in a way that is, you're offered this final resolution in a way that is very beautiful, and also you don't have to go it alone. It's not alone. You have help, you have a partner, you have a person or horse or unicorn that is even more focused on winning. And it's beautiful and wonderful. This is such a gorgeous reading, pile number 3. It's so motivating. I'm like, go for it, pile number 3. Let's go. Let's go. I want to hear all about this. Please give me a comment if you want to see, to tell me, only if you want, of course, only if you want to, but leave me a comment and tell me what's going on. I love to hear what you're manifesting, what you're working on, and everything is so positive for you, pile number 3. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your likes, your comments, and your shares. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future readings. I know I'll see you very soon. Thank you, and have a great week ahead. Bye for now.